Normally I do like one piece finials. They're usually about 6 inches tall or whatever. Uh, I try to take them down thin. I don't like really having the fat one. I'd rather have it dainty looking, like delicate. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to start out. I'm going to turn a bead on out of these. I got 3 pieces on here. 2 of them are just sacrificial. Then one of them is a piece of walnut. So I'm going to just make a bead out of it, and then we'll go into the steps of bringing the finial up from the base up. So I've used my spindle or the what you call it, pin turning mandrel. Guess I should have got the right piece in there to start with. Well, won't be able to get as close as I want to, but that'll work. Okay, so I'm just going to true these up. I just use my 3/8 bowl gouge and turn the what on? Oh. A while ago, couldn't even move it. This is a detail spindle gouge. Yeah, close enough. Okay, this will do for what we need to see on that. So basically, I made the bead, and I already drilled the 1/4 inch hole through it. So we got the bead. Knockout bar. And for those of you that do any pin turning, I advise getting the tailstock piece that fits through there, and you've got a live bearing right here, and it keeps from burning any wood or anything, or it's able to spin with you. So it's called a mandrel saver. Okay. Okay, so we'll just make some kind of a cap that would go on a box or whatever. Okay, so building the cap, I start with the bottom first. So I'm going to hollow this out a little bit. That's what's so nice not being in your shop. And of course, I skirted across and took out the marking. Okay, so that's the inside of our bowl. This tenon right here, whenever I would make the female part to this with it, Mary, I set this with my calipers, so I know. Yes, sir.
You were using that little.
Yeah.
You were going past the center line, weren't you?
Whenever I start?
No, when you finish. No, when you go past the center line, the wood is coming up, not down.
You mean coming around here?
Yeah.
Well, okay. You see how it's tapered back? Okay, so it's not in parallel line with this right here. It's angled back. It's a swept back grind. So the point right here is where I'm taking the center. That's maybe the optical illusion you're seeing maybe with this, but actually it's a good
Okay. I was going to say, how is that?
Yeah.
I took physics. That didn't seem to be possible.
No, I was going to center with that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just the angle.
It's just the angle.
Okay, so the world, I still understand it.
Okay. Well, I mean, If you come here and look at that,
Yes, that's what I was seeing.
you can see I've got it pulled into my chest, but the point is just now on center. You know, so it was, yeah. So anyway, I need to be able to hold this. So I made a tenon right here that's going to be it will be the internal. When you have a box, it's going to fit down into it, but also I'm going to be able to grip it with my jaws to be able to hold on to it whenever we, flip it around and do the dome part. So I'm going to cut this down. I'm going to leave it just a little bit undercut. So whenever you marry it with another piece, if you undercut it, it will sit down on the very outside edges instead of maybe having a thousandth of an inch where you're going to see that seam. So I always try to make a little bit of an undercut on the top part. So and you can take this off many different ways. Sometimes I'll just take my bow gouge or the party tool. Okay, so now we'll say we sanded it already, because that's the time you want to sand the inside of that piece. Okay, so and another thing you can do is you can measure your depth. I know it's a critical part, but even Bill screws up every once in a while. So everybody see my platter, my hollow, my platter a couple of either last month or whatever it was, where I made a funnel out of it. I ain't ashamed to say I have made funnels out of stuff like this. So we're not going to come near coming out the bottom of this one. I hope.
Yeah. That's good to throw that in.
Okay, so now we're going to remove the sacrificial tenon we had on there. Just as far as safety, I'll put this in until I get it down to about where I want it. I'll tell you, I'm going to make a 1/4-inch tenon on here. Now we'll just drill it. Coming at you, Bill. Okay, so if you're making one and you've only got a 1/4-inch wall up here or whatever, you got to be very critical with your drilling. Always put a piece of tape or a marker or something to mark how deep I can go. The brad point might not be your friend if you're thin wall. So we've got a good ways. Okay, so that's what we're going to start with. Good catch, Ben. Let's see.
So you kind of changed your mind.
Okay, so what we're going to do is make a transition piece in between this bead right here and that lid. Okay, so this is a 1/4-inch on one side, 5/16 on the other. Basically, you use it as your caliper. See, I put it on there, it's not going in. What I like to do, reason why I'm using this little one, my parting tool is actually wider than the wrench here. So that way you don't have to wiggle back and forth to make room for a Craftsman 1/4-inch to fit down there, because Craftsman 1/4-inch is probably 1/4-inch wide. So and there's your 1/4-inch. Okay, so I'm going to recess underneath here. A little bit fat. Okay, so you can see it's sitting, you know, a little bit out from sitting down flush. So you got to get up underneath there. Now we've got a real good tight fit. By recessing out underneath there, your ball is able to fit, you know, fit good and tight. See, you got it. Okay. So let's take this down a little bit. This thing ain't, it's not, we're not really going for any rhyme or reason on how this shape's going to come out on this one. I'm just going to show you how the steps would go, and then you would have your own shape on how you want to do it. Okay, so we got a 1/4 inch hole in that one over there. What?
Do the wrench again.
Oh. I got it. Did the base, did that base, oh, you got the base piece. I'll try to do better than Ben. Oh. Okay, so I don't like the fit of that.
Yeah, I've got a question for you.
Yes, sir?
I've heard that it can happen occasionally. Spinning is a bit sloppy in that hole. Ever happened to anybody? How do you take up that slop?
How do you take off the slop?
Yeah.
Sleeve it,
I think what
catch you another tenon. Yeah.
I'll take a thin piece of paper.
Yeah.
It might be a paper towel or something thinner. Put that around that tin and glue it in there.
Take out the gap.
And I have.
Somebody told you about it, right? Hey, I thought it was Bondo.
Yeah. Looks good from here, Dennis.
Well, I should have just ever slightly tried to recess back up underneath that, but it it is what it is. But
Can you cut a little bit of bevel right on the end of your hole to accept that?
Recess it.
we can do that.
Recess it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And recess it. What I do.
I just cut a little bevel on there to give the clearance.
Voila. See? Okay, so we've got like a bead coming up now. And like I said, this is just a throw together thing. If you ever got an idea what you want, this would be the steps you go through to make do it right. We would make maybe out of all one color with maybe out of all maple and then the walnut or whatever. But now let's cut this thing. So if any of you are ever doing any staircases or Yule posts or anything like that, a lot of times you can't take and round it all off like that, and you got to go in, especially if you're leaving these corners like that on your posts. So that's why a lot of times, instead of me just going back and forth and hollowing it, I'll just cut in, you know. Okay, at this stage, go ahead and get the point sanded, because you don't want to go back and be doing aggressive sanding after we get back a little ways. I'm leaving this fat for a reason. You want to make sure that you don't, say we need to take it down to 1/2 inch diameter all the way across. You stair step it. And the reason for that is if you take this down to 1/2 inch, out here where you're turning is going to be vibrating so bad on you. It's, so you stair step as you go along. I'm going to work in about an inch and a quarter area, and I'm going to keep on moving myself back. Whenever I get this done, hopefully I don't have to go back and do anything to this. So.
What if you using a bolt gouge or a pivot gouge?
Bowl. I just like using the bowl gouge for almost everything. I can hog if I need to, and I can finesse with it if I need to. It's just okay. So up until right there, I've had it pretty well parallel. It's a straight piece. I'm going to start making I'm going to do an onion, they call it. So I'm going to start bringing my thickness up fatter. You can see the vibration on the end right there. You know, you wouldn't want to go back out and make a cut on that. That's one nice thing about riding the bevel. If you need to go back and pick up a couple thousandths of a cut, you can go pick up the cut. Here's one I normally make, the style I usually do. I just like that style. It's graceful and it's damn it. Okay, so I want to mimic this piece right here on the top right here. Oh. Okay, so this piece is around 6, right at 6, 585, 580. Here we go. Okay. Well, son of a gun.
Design safe.
Huh?
Design safe.
I ever so slightly caught it with the tip of the tool on that little flange. I guess I should have went down a little bit smaller. Now we got a dilemma. Since I've already parted it off, I guess what I would say would be use Roger's trick and maybe cut it a little bit undersized.
Trust me, I've done it all. I've had to use that trick on a whiskey. I know that.
All right. Okay, so this ball's a little bit high. Man, I wish I'd undercut that more. If I was at home, I'd CA glue this bead in there and I could cut that out. But I don't. It's getting there.
Probably a hammer laying around here someplace.
One thing about it, once you glue it together, it's never seen. Anyway, this is just to show you how you would stair step one up if you was going to make one at home. So preferably you would have a little bit tighter fit there than what I did.
Dennis, what was the purpose of when you made those two pieces at the beginning before you cut the finial?
The bead, say you wanted a contrasting wood. You're wanting a contrasting wood in there. So I made this bead out of walnut.
Okay.
Going with a maple piece, the walnut and the maple go together as far as black and white. They, they're just gives contrasting. And I could have cut this piece here out of this and made it flow better, maybe, or whatever. But the main thing is, if you want a finial, you can do a finial like this, or you could stair step up with contrasting colors, by putting, so. But anyway, I should have undercut this more. I didn't. And if I would have undercut it like I undercut this one, then it would have married together without having that gap. But it's just a practice piece anyway. So anyway, that's the demo.